Hey guys, so recently I was put in touch with a friend of a friend that wanted to start a private label business on Amazon, and I was like, yay, that's awesome! And that was until they said this to me, well, almost. I have a question. How can I stop myself from being scammed by Chinese suppliers? And internally I was like, ooh. And they were like, so you see, I've been reading online about how people are getting scammed by suppliers on Alibaba. I really want to start this business, I promise I do, but I don't want to start it until I've read more about how to avoid getting scammed. To be honest, I do find it a little bit frustrating when people come to me worried about this. And in this video, I'm going to explain why I find it frustrating and also give you some tips on how you can avoid this happening to you. So let's jump straight into it. Alright, so the reason why I found this question a little bit frustrating was because of the fact that I find the issue of being scammed by suppliers on Alibaba or Aliexpress to be blown way out of proportion. What if I get scammed by the supplier taking my money and then never delivering the products that I bought? What if I get scammed by having the supplier ship poorly produced products? What if they don't ship the right product? What if they ship a fake product? What if they ship me rocks? Now, in theory, these concerns sound kind of reasonable, but in reality, these scams are very rare and usually they're kind of the fault of the person who got scammed. Tip 1. Work with suppliers that have been online for multiple years. If you want to avoid being scammed, then the absolute easiest way is to work with suppliers that have a trusted track record and that have been online for multiple years. Just think about it. If a supplier has been on Alibaba or AliExpress for 2 to 3 years and they had been scamming people and taking their money and running away, do you think that they would still be on those platforms? And if you're afraid that they're going to suddenly change their ways and go rogue when you order from them and take your money as quick cash, well then honestly, it is a little bit paranoid, because in China there are very harsh laws for criminals. It's one of the reasons why China ranks 5th in the world for enforceable contracts. Any company that could be easily tracked by law enforcement in China is unlikely to risk harsh prison terms for a bit of quick cash now. And that's honestly why I do find it frustrating when people become shackled by their fear of being scammed, because if they applied logic to their fears, they'd realize that they don't really have much basis. On AliExpress, if you come to an item listing, you can see how long the supplier has been on AliExpress. Because you're ordering items individually, not in bulk, working with suppliers that have been on the site for 2+ years is usually more than enough to safeguard yourself. If you're working with suppliers on Alibaba though, then the chances are you are doing a much bigger order, and with large-scale orders it makes sense to be more safe. In that case then, a smart idea is to only work with suppliers that have been gold for 3+ years. That means that they have purchased a gold subscription for that many years in a row. A gold subscription costs thousands of dollars each year to maintain, so a scam company is not going to have been paying that for 3+ years. Tip 2. Be wary of suspicious payment methods. If you're concerned with being actually scammed, then the biggest red flag is if they ask you to pay in a suspicious way. If you're purchasing items from AliExpress, then in the beginning just stick to purchasing items from AliExpress and using their checkout system. In time though, as your dropshipping business grows, you will very likely move to a system where you actually order items off the site, and this is entirely normal. This is called CSV dropshipping. What you do is you download all your orders from your Shopify store into a CSV file. You then send that file to the dropshipper and they will fulfill all of the orders for you so that you don't have to come in and buy each individual item for each customer. When you do this, you'll be paying for your items off of AliExpress, and as long as they are not asking you to do this with Western Union, then this is absolutely fine. However, you don't need to worry about this type of order fulfillment until you have built up a relationship with your supplier. In the meantime, stick to just ordering items from AliExpress. And my advice for you is that if you are purchasing items in bulk from an Alibaba supplier, perhaps for Amazon, that you do not send money to a bank that is located outside of mainland China. This is where the scams happen. Instead, stick to using PayPal, or with bank wire transfers that are going to a bank located in mainland China. Do not send to Hong Kong, and if a supplier asks you to send a Western Union, do not work with them. Western Unions are the payment method of scammers. Why? Well, because while Western Union does track the payout locations, these records are only ever going to be obtained with a subpoena. And for small-scale international fraud, that's not going to happen. Do not ever pay with Western Union. Tip 3. Protect yourself against faulty products. When you're purchasing items from China, quality control issues are unfortunately going to be an unavoidable part of the business. And this isn't them scamming you. Even the best manufacturers have quality control issues. It's just part of the manufacturing process. So let's start out by looking at how you can protect yourself from this when dropshipping with AliExpress. With AliExpress, you are protected with a refund policy, but it's not usually the lost money that you spent on purchasing the item that is the real issue here. Instead, the real problem here is your customer getting upset that you or your dropshipper sent them a faulty item in the first place. So the best thing that you want to do is to try and avoid this happening at all. So safeguard yourself by only working with suppliers that have a proven track record of shipping out the items that you're selling in good condition. Like take this guitar mug here. This supplier would be a good one to work with, as not only have they been on the site for 2 years, they also have excellent reviews from people that have purchased this mug from them. So don't just look for highly rated AliExpress stores, make sure that that store has a good track record and a positive review history for shipping out the item that you are selling. Now, if you're purchasing items from Alibaba, one way that you can protect and safeguard yourself is to purchase your items with PayPal. If you do this, then you are protected by PayPal's dispute program. If you receive bad products, then you know that if you can't work out some form of compensation with your supplier, that you'll be able to claim a refund with PayPal. However, a lot of Alibaba suppliers will not accept PayPal as a form of payment. They'll often let you use it for the product samples, but not for the actual order itself. And there is nothing suspicious about this. It makes sense that they don't want to use PayPal because it has very high fees, unlike a bank wire which has a flat fee. In that case there, a good way to still protect yourself is to only work with suppliers that are a part of the Alibaba's free trade assurance program. And here is how that works. 1. Identify if your supplier is part of the trade assurance program. If they are, they'll have the trade assurance icon on their listing, which when you click on it will tell you how much you can be protected for if you purchase products through them. In this case here, you would be protected for orders up to $72,000, and considering the fact that most people watching this will be ordering a shipment with $5,000 or less, you are absolutely fine. 2. Negotiate with the supplier and create your contract. Make sure that everyone agrees on all aspects of the order, like shipping, price, and the terms under which you will be covered from the trade assurance program. And make sure that your contract specifies expectations of your products. Note things like what size they should be, what materials they should be made out of, and what colors they should be. 3. Pay for the item through Alibaba. You can pay with a telegraphic transfer or e-checking if you live in the USA. You've also got the option of using your credit card. It does have fees, although it provides an additional layer of protection for you. Now, I want to stress something. Just because a supplier isn't a part of the trade assurance program doesn't mean that they are a scam. However, as a beginner, it is nice to work with these suppliers to safeguard yourself. Tip 4. Get your products inspected. Now this tip doesn't apply for people that are dropshipping with AliExpress. This tip is exclusively for people who are importing items in bulk, perhaps to private label and sell on Amazon. To safeguard yourself, before your items get shipped out to your Amazon FBA warehouse from China, make sure that you get them inspected. If the products do not pass the quality inspection, then you can negotiate with your supplier to fix the problem before the items get sent out. Or worst case scenario, if you cannot come to a resolution, you can file a dispute with PayPal or with Alibaba's trade assurance program. Alibaba offers a service that lets you organize an inspector through them. It costs around $200 and it's well worth it. You occasionally hear stories of people who apparently spent tens of thousands of dollars on an order only to have it arrive and to find rocks inside their packages. Well, those people were pretty stupid, weren't they? If they had just worked with the supplier that was a part of the trade assurance program and they'd had their products inspected before shipped out, then they wouldn't have had this problem, would they? The vast majority of time, the people who get scammed are those that chose to work with unproven suppliers because of the fact that they were offering them lower prices. It was their greed that was their downfall. Thanks for watching. If you would like to learn even more about creating e-commerce businesses, then be sure to subscribe to Wholesale Ted and click that little notification bell next to it so that you don't miss out on any of our videos. And I've got one last freebie I'd like to offer you. Here at Wholesale Ted, we have a free ebook that teaches you the 6 steps that six-figure dropshipping stores follow to make over $10,000 every month. To get that free ebook for yourself, simply click on the link in the video description below.